whatever somebody something. I don't know. But
Okay.
and
For
here
the
we
third
go.
party. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. See.
I accepted.
Think we're good.
Theoretically, we are live on the intranets.
What's up, guys?
Hey, motherfuckers.
We doing this?
Oh
Let's
look,
do it.
we already have comments.
Come on. Let's do it.
All right, let me change the Zoom camera. So, y'all, it is just us. I will change the Zoom camera so we can get a gallery view and not speaker. There we go. Now they can see everybody. Oh, wait a minute. Now they can see everybody.
Good.
Weird. Who are we missing?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Ooh.
I guess nobody.
He's not terribly important, is he? I know who it is. It's Sammy.
Who?
Big Houston.
Oh, the guy sleeping in the bedroom next to me. That's coughing, wheezing, sweating, and snoring. That guy.
It's all him.
The one with the limp.
The limp, the eyesight issues,
Yeah, he's got the COVID, y'all.
all the things.
And so Hiram's here to the pinch hitter. What's the soccer metaphor?
12th man.
I thought Shore Billy was the 12th man.
Shore Billy's had 12 of something. It ain't. It might be milligrams
Oh, speaking of which,
for breakfast.
Shore Billy paid me a visit, and he does say that cannabis is a deterrent to COVID.
Well, Sam ain't doing that because he's lame.
So I'm just taking doctor's advice right now. Oh, look, Sam's in the chats. Well, somebody can entertain the chats, and it doesn't have to be me this week. Yay!
Now, if he can do that, he can get on the fucking microphone.
Shh. He's not allowed in here. I did say if he wanted to call in.
Listen, we don't do part-time work here, okay? It's a DU football show, all right?
It's either whole ass or no ass.
Lay your ass in bed.
Trying to figure out why my fucking camera is not focusing on me. I'm over here literally acting like a fucking producer and shit on this.
I
You
saw
are
you fucking
fuzzy.
like,
No, seriously, I keep
wow,
doing this.
wow.
Whoa, where'd it go? Big B's head looked up. Oh, here, speaking of cameras.
There we
Oh,
go.
Mel's in her happy place.
Oh, not that
Fucking
one.
Bigby's in there.
Hi, good boy. Who's a good boy?
Hey, Big B.
That's it. He's like, can I go back to sleep now? I was asleep.
Right?
She got real excited. And now I go back to sleep again.
Well, he better be ready because that first segment should have you real excited.
Shore Billy says clean the lens.
It's clean, motherfucker.
Sam Houston says NyQuil won't be long for this world. Shore Billy says, damn, Mel, the more you describe Big Sam, the more you might have to fight a bitch over all that.
That's pretty good.
And then, of course, it's your people that started off with first, come on, you gunners.
That's right. That's right.
To lose.
It's a big week.
That's us.
That's a big week. Super helpful.
Well, I am going to have to find the notes because I realized I didn't print anything out, but I can do that and multitask because I'm just over here pressing buttons. Are you guys ready to do this?
I think I'm ready to do a show.
Let's do it.
Well, I didn't prepare an intro, so we'll just go in cold this week. Unless Hiram, you want to do it on the fly? Oh, I'll do one.
Oh, hold on. I got one. I think I got one.
Can you do it? Can you do it live?
I can try my best.
Oh my gosh. There's no second chances. It's do or die. Never.
Well, except there is. There's no second chances to these six cons.
I think there's like 9.
We don't have two white
Nope.
guys doing the.
Nope. You're fired.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
We want to do it again.
Fuck you,
That's
Graham. You set
coming
me
right
up.
after the ice cubes. You're gonna be. I just did that so you can be roasted in the chat. So I'll wait for that to catch up.
Oh, yeah, it was going to happen anyways.
All right, you ready?
No.
Shit, I press on record.
So, what do you get when you don't have two white guys doing a podcast this year? Or this week, I should say. You get a black guy who is young, hot, and fresh, and then a white guy who looks like a drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, fuck that up. So we're just gonna keep going with it. Anyway, I'm trying to hear this music in the background, but here we are. You listen to the DU Football Public Show.
Let's start the show. Ah, fuck it.
In the land of Bowie, Maryland, bred to be a fan of fucking never ends. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Sam Houston. Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Son of a lord. With straight and short. Sam Graham. Sam Graham.
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a totally biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Graham, and across the way from me is my co-host, Freshness. Uh-oh, Abby's involved. That's a shame. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great, Sam. How are you doing tonight?
Not bad at all. Famously, though, the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer, I think, has short blonde hair. Actually,
What do I know? I don't know rock music like that, so I'm just taking a guess here.
I hear you. Understood. And on the ones and twos, as always, is our producer, Melissa. How you doing, my dear?
I am isolated in the office and staying away from the disease-ridden Sam Houston.
That's right, because the disease-ridden Sam Houston has the vid19er, which is why we've got old young hot Fretness with us tonight. Fretness. He's that Fretness. We're we're recording in the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital, kind of, I presume. One of us is. It's actually physically being recorded there. Just the shit we're saying isn't there right now. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, though, and streaming live every single Monday night on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. Should you want to chat with us, there are many ways you could do so. Hiram, if you would, please, sir, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
I'm going to take a guess and say it is by going on email to the DU Football or DU Public House Productions.
DUFootballShow@gmail.com.
See, I'm trying.
And at DU Football Show on all the social media. See that, guys? It's not as easy as it looks being the pretty face of the group.
Hold on, I'm texting Alan.
See if we can do a first half substitution. That's tough.
Wow.
That's disrespectful. Jeez. But anyway,
right. You're right. I should reach out to Timio.
Even an upside down world, it goes right. I work in the wine and spirits industry, and I have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So, as the red-blooded Americans we are, proud to have a drink in my hand throughout this show and every single show. Hiram, are you drinking anything?
Yes, I am.
Besides water, because it doesn't sound like you're lubricated at all.
You know what? I'm doing the best I can. Goddamn it. No, I am having myself a drink tonight. I am having a drink I've been having for the past 2.5 months now, which is called a Hennerita. Just a nice mix of Hennessy with some sweet and sour, triple sec, and lime juice.
Nice. Okay, so basically a margarita made with Hennessy.
Basically, yeah.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. I like drinking reposado tequila in my margaritas, so not terribly far away. Still super sweet. Now the Repo tequila typically gives you a little bit of pepper on the finish, so it makes it a touch spicier. With the Hennessy with cognac, you're just going to get the sweetness, and that's it. But yeah, actually, it doesn't sound terrible, to be honest with you. I'd try it.
It was a delicious drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Mel, what you got? You doing any spirits, or are you just on the beers?
I am drinking a Wiener Lager beer, and it appears that's just the name of it. It's from Germany. It's one of the ones.
A Wiener Lager?
Yeah. Wiener Lager. Finding out for information. I'm like, where is this from? And she's like, beer, cerveza.
That's what they say in Germany. Anyway,
Germany.
I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm drinking Boondocks.
What?
This is a 6-year-old straight bourbon whiskey that's finished in port barrels. Comes in at 90 proof. It is absolutely delicious. You get that nice little sweetness from the bourbon up front, obviously, but the port barrel finish just gives it that nice round, almost dessert quality to it. You get the little bit of nuttiness, but overwhelming chocolate, and kind of almond finish to it. It's phenomenal. I love this whiskey. It's very good.
You would like this.
Should run you. I would. Yeah.
Very bready and yeasty.
Yes. Okay, that does sound like me. And wieners. I or what surrounds wieners, actually, in every sense of that.
All right.
You can find my drink on the shelf for about $55.99 to $59.99 a bottle. So remember to drink responsibly, please.
I was like, and what else should we do?
As always. Yeah, he couldn't remember the social, so I figured I'd just say it.
Yeah, I can say that.
Anyway, the weekend got us started with a bit of wild action. Our recap actually begins with a bit of wild action. There were two important derbies to this show, obviously. You have the North London Derby, and then you have the Derby that matters to one person in this room right now, because the other one's laid up and because he's crying too much. So we have Tottenham 0, Arsenal 1, and then you've got Villa 3, Everton 2. Go to the North London Derby first, Hiram. What do you think about, leading into this game? There was a lot of chat, obviously, about Declan Rice being suspended and Martin Odegaard getting hurt over the international break. How did Arsenal deal being without two of their key players, and what could Tottenham have done differently in this game to not lose?
Basically, I would say that throughout the entire match, it looked like Arsenal was like kind of back and forth, and then they were kind of lost in the midfield for sure. But Spurs were definitely putting up a tough fight, especially going out to attack like Son and I believe Solanke. I'm sorry, Solanke. I don't know who the fuck is that. So Solanke is definitely two main opponent attackers that kind of helped them get to that point where they could have put some chances in, but unfortunately they didn't. Luckily enough, like of course, the work of Ryan and of course that back line, the defense, they definitely were able to make the stops, but that midfield was definitely a hindrance to Arsenal, I would say for sure, especially because like they were not really as elusive in the defensive side more than they were on the transition, but it definitely could have been a lot more. It could have been uglier than it turned out to be, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I thought this was a very weird game. It was chippy and cagey by one sense. I mean, there was a lot of fouls. Obviously, you had 7 cards in the first half, which was the most in a Premier League game for a number of years. Actually, probably a Premier League record. I think I heard 8 cards overall in the game. At the same time, both sides had chances. So it was still fairly open, even though it was so cagey intense, which you don't really get that scenario very often in this league. I thought Tottenham probably could have exploited Jorginho's lack of pace a bit more, but they almost looked, in midfield especially, they looked very nervous. At times I thought disinterested.
It was mainly because I think they were trying to rely too much on Madison to pull the strings for everything. But again, he's more of an attacking based midfielder than he is like a central midfield or be like that holding defense. So of course, with them trying to balance out the two of having I'm assuming the two holding midfielders kind of like carry the load for them as well. It wasn't, as you said, they were looking nervous. They were pretty much just scared and shocked as far as like what was happening because it was a battle of what I would say maybe midfielders, best way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
What did you think about Gabriel's goal? Game winner, obviously, the only goal of the game. Great cross in from Saka, right in the danger area. That sort of corridor of uncertainty for the goalkeeper. Do I come for it? Do I not? Maybe 7 yards from his line. Was it a foul? Do you think Gabriel with Christian Romero in front of him? I thought Christian Romero initiated the contact, and I didn't really see blooded push. I mean, both hands were on his back, yes, but I think the same thing happened to him in that crazy game with Newcastle last season with Joe Linton, and that wasn't a foul. So, I kind of tend to agree there wasn't enough in it for me. What do you think?
I think it was pretty much an even call. Again, with most of the refs that these days they will call anything, and there's certain leniency that will occur with different refs that takes place where, of course, there'll be a minor shove and there'll be a card, or it might be like something major, and that will be nothing at all. But at least in this case, I think, like you said, it was really nothing at all. Even though it pains me to say that as a Chelsea fan, talking good about Arsenal. Um,
Yeah, but
but
you hate them more.
not really. I definitely
Mm,
hate. Are you saying I hate Spurs more?
yeah,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
Um, but I
So
definitely
once again, Arsenal are the heroes in this equation. Is what I'm saying.
I didn't want to give you that. Anyway, uh no, like I said, I think it was a pretty clean, even clean push, sort of say, because if anything, it was probably like just his back, hands to his back to kind of get a jump off to get the header, but it wasn't anything to like how to like shove him out of the way or anything like
Yeah, I
that.
don't think it was a foul. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. 100% agree with that. Fourth game in a row, Bakuya Saka had an assist. Obviously, one in each game, minimum so far this season. And then once again, another set piece, which Arsenal were the best and most potent team from set pieces last season. Um, just another positive sign, I think, for the Gunners moving forward this season that we finally got that set piece goal kind of under our belts and hopefully um, the floodgates will open from my perspective. We had Gabriel's 15th goal actually for Arsenal since joining. Um, yeah, I guess it'd be pretty hard to score for the club before you joined. Sorry. Uh, didn't think that one out before I started the sentence. but but yeah, I mean, just what a wonderful defender and the turkey teeth on full display. It was great. I loved everything about it. It's absolutely fantastic.
I definitely think like Arsenal, as they've shown in the past couple seasons, they definitely have what it takes to win it all for sure. Um, from this past game, they showed again on the defensive line is probably not is definitely impenetrable or not impenetrable, but it's definitely like you can find like some cracks in there. But from this case, it wasn't really as noticeable for sure, where they were pretty much like a solid line of defense. And of course, with Ryan goal, he was pretty much just making all the correct stops as needed. That wasn't really out of the way. But then again, like I said from earlier, like Solanke and Son made multiple chances that could have easily made it like a 2-1 or 1-1 match. But again, they were able to escape this easily. Well, not easily, pretty luckily, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it was. David Raya had to make some saves, right? I mean, it was, but all in all, I think it was fairly comfortable for Arsenal for the most part. I guess you could say there was a little bit of luck. There was that one deflection off Timo Werner that ended up being offsides anyway. But
Mm.
Raya had already started his dive. I mean, that ball was destined for the back of the net. It ended up going an inch wide, maybe. But ultimately, Timo Werner was offside. There was a few things that definitely could have gone Spurs' way. You're absolutely right about that. There's two questions I have. to finish out this game.
Mm.
The first of which, what did you make overall of Jorginho's performance? I thought he was excellent for what he was supposed to do, for deputizing for Declan Rice, essentially. I thought he was fantastic, and then as well, Trossard in that situation, kind of deputizing for Martin Odegaard in that number 10 position. And I thought both of them were excellent. I thought they were fantastic. And then I have a follow up question after you finish your thought.
Well, I'll start with Trossard, where I'll say he's definitely more suited for a 10 role than he is a left winger, in my opinion. Only because like he definitely is better to, of course, get through the channels, pretty much roam around, get this distribution there. Of course, with Odegaard there, that's kind of hard for him to take that spot as their number 10 or as their main distributor, which I do think that's the kind of slight edge that Odegaard has over Trossard. But if you were to put someone else in that spot, Trossard would definitely be perfect for that. As far as Jorginho, it's that's kind of hard to say because he has his moments, and of course, like I saw this even at Chelsea, even prior to when he had his Ballon d'Or year, which is still kind of questionable looking back at it now. But even still, like when he was at least in that match, it was still more of like just standard business. It wasn't anything like too extravagant or too out of the ordinary to me. If anything, it just seemed like a pretty solid game, but nothing too crazy that was needed for them. And for him to pretty much pick up Declan Rice's side as far as like him being out for the match, of course, I think he could. I don't know. I think it's also because when you're playing a double pivot more so too, it also has to have a lines when you have like of course like Thomas Partey, who definitely does kind of push up a bit, but Jorginho does sit in that holding spot. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, especially because like they're both in a sense different molds of players, but they do have like their defensive duties that are kind of like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Partey did a lot of Jorginho's running in this game for sure, and even Trossard to an extent defended fairly well to cover up Jorginho's lack of mobility. But Jorginho, I thought for what he was the role he was asked to play, I thought he did it perfectly. I thought it was come in, be calm, hold possession, break up play when you can, let Partey and Trossard kind of handle the running, and just don't put a foot wrong. Essentially, just don't do anything wrong, and we'll be fine. And
Yeah.
he didn't, and we were. Did you see Trossard have to change his shirt?
Yeah, I saw his whole right pec out for sure.
Yeah.
That was
So what happened? I'm not even sure how it happened. I'm not sure what challenge that happened with, but I do know that once he did take his shirt off, I got a little bit of a chubby. I didn't realize the reason he looks so tired all the time is because he's in the goddamn gym 24 motherfucking 7. Okay. How about that?
built. He is built.
He knows his way around the push up,
No, for sure.
right?
Even like just think about the challenge. I don't know where that came from. Like I saw it more so from social media of like just a giant patch with just his nipple out and just
Yeah.
I didn't know where that came from at all.
Me, same thing. I'm
So
sitting
I'm
here.
just
It was
blown.
like even so there's like a ton of meme, kind of pages we all follow, right? To talk shit about each other,
Yeah,
basically in the closed group, Drunk United FC on Facebook. Make sure you follow that. But
nice plug.
said, thank you. I'm a pro. It's but one of the memes that popped up was literally it was like, when did this happen? And it just had him trapping a ball with his tit out. Like, I don't know either. But I do know when he took it off to change it, I was like, "Phew, mate, drop down and give me 10 right now. That'd be hot." All right, so let's move on. Good one.
Before you do that, I actually do have a question for you in
All
this
right.
sense. Um, with this being Sterling's first performance in the Arsenal shirt, how would you rate that overall? Because I've seen like some kind of mixed reviews on it.
I probably would put him at a 6.5 out of 10. The reason being, he looked like he wasn't necessarily comfortable in the system, he was very just ass focused on doing the job, what exactly he was asked to do, right? And that was check back and cover on the left. That was help back defensively. That was, we're not at full strength. Obviously, we're not flying as we normally are. So when he comes on for Martinelli, I think it was more provide us a bit of cover, a bit of levity and calmness because you are older, experienced, blah 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 blah. Give us some love in that department, and find yourself in a position. Shoot, I thought when he got into that box, that kind of cut in from the left on the edge of the 18, I thought he could have shot 2 or 3 times before he actually tried to, and ended up losing the ball. Anyway, as soon as he came on, I put $5 on him to score live bet. Would have paid me a shit ton of money actually. I think they had him plus 1,600 at that time. And when he started cutting in from the corner of the box, I was like, oh, money, money, money. And then fucking Van der Ven took 3 steps and was there, of course, because he's the fastest person on the face of the planet apparently now. But overall, I mean, he did the job we asked him to do at that moment. I'd like to see, maybe a month from now when we have, maybe he has 2 or 3 more performances or appearances rather, when he gets a bit more used to the system. I know that he was not called up for the international break, obviously. Most of the rest of the squad was, right?
Yeah.
Without Declan Rice there. I think in this game, actually, it also hindered Martinelli to an extent. And Saka, it kind of, over the last 2 years, we've kind of overwhelmed teams moving forward. But without Declan Rice, Odegaard's pressing as well defensively, I think they decided kind of one of you go, one of you stay. Almost that Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard idea back in the day with England. But make sure we've got the cover back. So if one winger's up, the other winger still out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So like when the only time we only saw that one instance when Martinelli was through on goal and should have squared it to Saka and didn't. That was the only time they were in the box at the same time in this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't put a foot wrong. He did everything he was supposed to do. Was it sparkling? No, but the ask wasn't to sparkle. So I think you give him a 6.5, 7, maybe, right? You did the job, but I want to see what he can do, and we can only assess that when we're at full strength. To be completely fair.
And to be fair, this was the first match since the international break anyway, so you still got plenty of time to see like how he fits in with the system. And
absolutely. And again, he signed on deadline day, so he had 12 days of training, maybe, right? If that, and then everybody goes away that he's supposed to be playing with,
right?
Like literally everyone goes away that he's supposed to be playing with. So he's there training with essentially the U21, just everybody left over. And what can he really learn and gauge from that situation? But nothing, right?
Yeah.
So, I think there's more to come from him. I'm excited about the signing. I think he did exactly what we asked him to do, and that's all we can really ask for.
Fair enough.
So, all right, let's move on to Villa 3, Everton 2. We obviously have to bring Mel in on this one because the marriage-ending derby might actually end the marriage because this is one of the worst starts for Everton Football Club that they've had in their history, really.
Oh, yeah.
It's been since, the 60s or 80s or something. What was it? This is the first time they've lost 4 to start a season?
I can't even tell you.
Yeah, that's just fact. I heard that.
Yeah.
You could take that to the bank. Mel, I don't know about you, but
I was worried at first. I was a little cocky. I was like, oh, this will be easy. I had a party to get to. Everton will lose easily in the first half, and then we'll fuck her off to the next event.
As soon as Ollie Watkins scored in the first half to make it 2-1, I put $15 on Villa to win the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And I hit. obviously.
I'll say good bet.
Sam Houston says 1958.
1958, so it was the 50s, even worse than I thought. But yeah, I mean, Villa were excellent. They got slapped in the face,
right?
Because Everton did slap you in the face. I mean, they were good fucking value. The first goal from McNeil was kind of out of nowhere, surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and taking that chance early completely unsettled Martinez. I think he just was not ready for it to come in. Yeah, and there were a lot of chances throughout the game. I mean, I was very surprised that there were so many chances. But Calvert-Lewin obviously laid on more time than anyone I've ever seen take time once they hit the 18 and allowed Ezri Konza to get back. And he didn't even have to tackle him. He just kicked the ball away and it was fine, which was strange. Didn't seem to affect his confidence. He comes on again and then bangs one against the crossbar. I mean, on another day, this could have ended differently. I mean, I guess you could count yourself lucky to an extent. But that worldie from Duran is really what we're all here for, isn't it?
My God.
That's what we're all here for, right?
Such a beaut.
I thought I'd get the recap part out so we could just talk about this.
Everybody that was complaining, that just shut them all up about him. Oh, it was so
I'm not so sure because what was it, 2-3 minutes later? Or maybe it was 2-3 minutes before. He tried a bicycle kick with his wrong foot.
Yeah, it was before.
And blazed like over. I mean, it was terrible.
You're not supposed to remember that. He had a worldie.
I would say it doesn't. That's the goal of the year. But
it could be, absolutely could be. But the bicycle kick and then the goal combined gave me big Darwin Nunez vibes. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Just like, what is going through your head, dude, that you thought to do these two things in the same 6-minute span?
I don't know. I can say for sure I've become a fan of Duran just from the season alone because I think this is his third goal in 4 matches, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah, he scored a few times this season already.
Yeah, because I know he got the one against West Ham, and then I don't know if he scored in the next two. I might be mistaken.
No, he did. He definitely scored 3 times. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But just his performance so far, and then the talks about him potentially even replacing Ali in the starting, I think it's even tough now, even after the performance Ali just had in this last match as well. But Duran may still have another good shot where they could do a side-by-side, like a dual partnership, because that's Unai ball anyway. It's a 4-4-2. They're obviously going to have 2 strikers up top, but you definitely want to have more of a second striker than you would 2 target men, if anything.
Yeah, well, with Leon Bailey having moved on, right? Leon Bailey's no longer with the club, yeah?
I thought he was.
Not that I know of.
Oh, Mel, you did the transfer recap. Is he still there or no?
He's still there. Now I'm like questioning everything.
I haven't seen him this season. I don't know that he is. And if he is, he's hurt. Anyway, with his left foot, Duran.
Oh yeah, he's injured, but he definitely played like
okay. But with his left foot, he could play that right side. And they could be in attack together. I don't see a reason why they can't be.
Back.
Hiram, you're absolutely right. I'm with you there. He could play that right wing role and be able to cut in on that sweet left foot he showed. But I was one of those people after the second game, after the third game, that said, like, Ollie's not performing, man. Mm-hmm. He had the 1 goal at the Euros. Obviously, he didn't have a ton of chances, but he had the 1 goal at the Euros. And really, other than that, what is he showing here? Like, he missed a fair few chances in those first 2 games. Mm-hmm. Duran comes in off the bench, and obviously you want your team to do well. But when your direct replacement doing the job that you were meant to do, worry. I said at week 3, I said I think Duran could Ollie Watkins coming up if this continues. Ollie Watkins obviously heard what I'm saying, so you're welcome. He took care of that, didn't he? Because that second goal was a decent little goal for Ollie Watkins as well.
Yeah, just like a nice little dink in that came in off a deflection from Everson.
That's right. Yeah. It was a terribly deflected pass, and Ollie Watkins just reacted to it really well. Um, McNeil obviously with the assist in this game. He's going to be hugely important for Everton in their survival bid.
Mm.
I'm not willing to write them off yet necessarily, Everton, but things have to get better quickly. It's not another, it's not a bad performance. It's a good performance the last couple of games, but these little 7-8 minute collapses, where they ship a couple of goals quickly, have to stop for them, or the rot can quickly grow. We've already seen Goodison be a bit of a cauldron in a negative sense over the last couple of seasons when things aren't going right, and I think things need to improve quickly on a result standpoint. Now, I think they will once they get their first point. I think things will kind of trickle down, but I don't know how you guys see it. But I think once they break their duck, I think they'll be okay.
It it definitely will be a tough strain of games for them to get their stride back, but it might be like a similar scenario that's like it has been for the past 2 years. They'll start
Yeah.
off weak. They'll have like a pretty up and down winter period, and then around like spring or like late winter, early spring is when they start to gain some momentum. But then mess around and still finish like 15th or 16th.
Yeah. Same kind of thought process there. All right. Last thing on these guys. Did Michael Keane, another mistake, obviously, to give Ollie Watkins that goal. How fast does Jared Branthwaite need to come back for this thing to settle down at Everton on the back line?
Immediately. Like
As soon as fucking possible. Yeah.
Even when they were talking about the starting lineups, like before the ball even kicked off, they were just immediately just saying like, "Oh, well, we can't wait for Jared Braithwaite to come back." It's like
Yeah.
Jesus, they didn't even kick the ball off. They're already on their demise. But
Exactly right.
I think that's definitely a big hindrance for them for sure. But it's just not looking good for them right now without him in that back line.
Hey guys, Smokey's in the chats and he has a question that I think is actually good to ask with Sam not here.
Okay.
Should Everton replace Pickford? Does England replace Pickford?
England, no.
Because I know Sam's answer is going to be no. No way, no fucking way. He's the top. He's the best. But I'm curious what you guys say. And well, Smokey is too.
They can't, in my opinion.
Listen.
In my opinion, they can't. Robin Olsen is not good in comparison. They're worlds apart. For my money, there's no way that Everton can replace him at all. England, Ramsdale's now getting games. So yeah, England probably could. Ramsdale's not as good at distribution, which is what they want. And Jordan Pickford is a good shot stopper in general. I mean, there's nothing you could really do about the deflected pass. Two of those goals were nowhere near Pickford's fault in this past game. Really, only one goal this season you can absolutely say was 100% on Pickford, and that was that terrible pass he had that he apologized for. I think it was the second game of the season. I don't know, Hiram. What do you think? I think he has to stay on for the moment. I don't think Everton. They can't spend any money, and Robin Olsen's not very good, so they have to keep him at Everton. I think Ramsdale could give him a run for his money for England, but I think his distribution is what sets him apart from Ramsdale, and I think that's basically where I stand. I think Pickford stays on for both.
I agree. And even Short Billy, I see his comment. I agree with you as well too, saying this it's really because he's getting no help from in front of him with that back line, and that's the main reason why their defense is pretty much faltering. It's not mainly on Pickford. Pickford is doing the best he can with what he has at this point, and as you mentioned, there's no one else that's like at least of top quality to even step up to that point too. Like you have your best player is a keeper who's also on the English national team, and is constantly going to semifinals, finals, and everything. But even still, like they there's really nothing they can do to even make the change as far as Everton's standard to change for a keeper because there's no one to take that place for them. As far as England, it's tough because yes, Ramsdale is the number two, and he's basically like he's getting games with Southampton and doing at least getting some reps with that. I don't see I still don't see him getting over Pickford in the England squad just because like you mentioned, distribution is a big deal, but then also just overall shot blocking, I think Ramsdale is slightly under Pickford just by like an edge, but it's also because of consistency too. But it's hard to tell also with when this new regime of the English team comes in as well too. So I don't know, but I agree. I think that he'll stay on for both though.
All right. Here we go into the second bit of this. We have the other side of Liverpool also fails to win in a very strange game. And then City keep on fucking rolling, man. So we got Liverpool 0, Forest 1, City 2, Brentford 1. Liverpool pretty much had all of the play in the first half. And minus that very funny Sells drop, hit his taint, almost go in, recover, smother the ball. Forrest didn't really do much else exciting.
No, it was all Liverpool throughout the entire match, and I was genuinely surprised there was no chances even converted at all for sure. Just looking at the stats right now, only 5 shots on goal, but then again, I still don't get how they didn't convert at all.
I know it was pretty well. There was a few very tame ones as well from Liverpool. I'm they almost to me looked disinterested in this game. Again, to be honest with you, I'm not sure after those first two performances that were so professional and so businesslike, right?
Mm.
I'm not sure where they turned around, put in this type of day at the office. I think that it was very strange from them.
Do you think it could have been overconfidence that they just thought like immediately, oh, we have the edge over
It
Forest? Like,
just wrote them off. Yeah, I mean, absolutely could be. I mean, when you get out tasticized, out tactics, I'm not sure what the word is there. You get out thought by Nuno. I mean, Nuno's got experience in the league. Obviously, been with Wolves forever. Was at Tottenham for about 12 minutes, and then went and really plied his trade in Saudi and came back with the knowledge of that bang up league, and then coaches Forest to safety despite a points deduction. Now I think you're starting to see the true Nuno
mm,
uh, and his effects on this Forest team. He got the tactics spot on. Hudson Odoi, Anthony Alanga, both nailed on starters normally. Right, I think only Alanga started this game. The rest of the midfield was brought in to stop Liverpool from playing. Period.
mm.
In this game, and they did it to great effect. 70 minutes, you see Hudson Odoi come on, go win us the game, son, and he did. It was fantastic. He is with his right foot like Arjen Robben was with his left. He has scored 4 goals, 3 goals this season, 2 goals this season. You go back to the end of last season, it's probably 7 in his last 6 games or so, and they are all the same fucking goal. Drive down the left, cut in on his right foot, bang to the far corner. That's just what he does. It is Arjen Robben reincarnated. What he did for you guys, obviously cutting in from the right on his left boot. What he did for Bayern for years, cutting in from the right side on his left boot. And he probably scored out of his 260 goal total. Probably scored 258 of them in the same fucking manner.
Wow.
So it's just no surprise there. The only real surprise was how poorly Liverpool dealt with it in my opinion. But I did love that ball hitting what's his name's taint. I thought that was very funny.
I just
I don't know how he dropped it.
That's what I'm saying too. Like it was an easy catch too. And how do you manage for it to not only drop behind you, but then still hit you in the ass? That was just,
Simple.
it was just a very simple catch that you had to do. But luckily it didn't go in, so it all worked out for him in the end.
What a weird thing to have happen. That was very, very fucking funny. City keep on rolling 2-1 against Brentford. I think this one really just boils down to Brentford scored too early.
Yeah.
Gave City too much time to come back. You score that goal in the 60th minute, things get nervous, probably get a draw. But you scored after 22 seconds. So you literally gave City the most amount of time.
Like literally
possibly have.
all of 89 minutes, and then that's the rest of the game.
Exactly right.
And I do grant Brentford's attempt for, of course, like banging him in the mouth immediately, which they did for sure. But then again, you still had to keep rolling with the punches as the match goes on, which unfortunately they did not do. But
again, really, they had chances as well. In the what 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, should have had a second goal with Embuemo, and he didn't do it. But as you say, once City settled into the game there, it went exactly how you'd expect it to go.
Yeah.
After that, they could have been two. I mean, there was another kind of half chance, but realistically, you would expect them to be 2-0 up for 4 minutes. They weren't. And here comes fucking Haaland, as usual. He is on track now after this 2 goals. He is now on track to score 85 goals this season. He's on pace to score 85 goals this season. Isn't that ridiculous?
Are you talking about like a Premier League season or like a calendar year?
League season.
Jesus Christ.
He's got 9 in 4 games.
The fact that I've literally saw I guess it was a meme or like
10, right?
Yeah, because he had 3.
Because he had 2 hat trick, and now 2 again. So that's 10 goals in it.
Yep. That's, if my math is correct, that is 10. But even
mathing on that one, I think.
Even like the fact that it's like he's literally coded. Like we joke around about him being a cyborg and like a robot and everything, but he's literally coded to give you at least 2 goals a match, at least far in the season for sure. And we were like, speaking for Chelsea, we were just barely, not even barely lucky. Well, yeah, I would say we were barely lucky to even stop him from getting a hat trick, but even still, like, that was bound to happen because Haaland is literally just going to go in and score a goal, especially when you have distributors like De Bruyne, you have Silva, you have Grealish, who occasionally will play on time to time. You have Foden, who also is a threat as well too. Probably the second.
Hasn't even played yet this season.
Who, Foden?
Or did he come on? He may have come on. He
came on. He came
hasn't
on.
Started yet this season.
Yeah, that's what it was. But even still, like, he's just unstoppable. And the question really is, how do you stop Haaland?
Saliba figured it out last year, and he's going to do it again next weekend. More to come on injury time. You can find that at patreon.com/D Football Show. That's our extra show previewing the following week coming up.
Like that little oop I did for you?
Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate that. Mel?
Yes.
Did you push the button?
I did.
I heard it.
I didn't hear anything.
It was like
okay, and now
hold on, let me press it again.
Write the time down. Write the time down. There we go. Got it. And now, that happened. Southampton 0, United 3, Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. I don't even want to talk about Palace 2, Leicester 2, Fulham 1, West Ham 1, Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 1, and Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Southampton and United. Southampton are just bad, aren't they?
Yeah. I really want to give him the benefit of the doubt for this match, but Jesus, this was very abysmal.
Pretty pitiful. I can't even really. There's nothing that I mean. They were awarded a penalty, and Onana saved it easily. And this is a guy in preseason that told somebody where to shoot it and then dove the opposite direction. It was really weird. And he ends up saving a penalty. I don't understand how bad they can actually be, Southampton. And they started okay, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a slow start to the game as a whole,
Yeah.
but they started okay in this game. They had a chance or two. Um, but then Mateus Delict got an excellent header. Kind of it was ball was behind him, readjusted his body, sent it to the far post. Ramsdale couldn't get to it. Um, and really the result from that point forward was never in doubt.
It was pretty much inevitable as soon as the header went in from Delic. And I really wanted Southampton to do well in this match, not because like it like anti United or anything like that. Like I genuinely wanted Southampton to at least put up a decent performance because I feel like they might have a chance to at least maybe stay up, but it's hard to tell because they could be like another yo-yo team as well for the season. And
100%.
I think they really should have converted what two things really. They definitely should have converted the penalty. That was pretty much an easy goal for them, at least in my opinion, when you're going against Onana in the PK spot. And two, Ramsdale really pretty much had no support in that back line to help him at all, especially for his
He
first match.
never he never does these last couple matches. I think this is now second on the bounce for him since his move from Arsenal. And I mean, this could have been worse. The
Yeah.
last game could have been worse as well. The one before the international break. I mean, he kept them relatively in the game. I said it before the season started. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. To be completely honest with you, I don't know where the goals are going to come from for this team. It just doesn't make it just doesn't make a ton of sense
Mm.
to me where this team stays up. It just doesn't. Garnacho obviously drawing a red from Dale Stevens. Terrible tackle.
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic challenge. Shouldn't be on the pitch. Wasn't really any protests and fair dues for that, but that was atrocious. Um, that's something I don't want to see. I think he should be suspended for more than one game. To be honest with you, went straight into studs up, straight into Garnacho's knee. He did recover and then obviously scored in the 96th minute to really put the bollocks to him, which is good. Brighton and Ipswich, 0-0. They played a professional football game. That's about all we need to say about it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I got
Six
nothing.
shots on target. Two of those 6 shots on target happened in the space of 3 seconds. It was terrible. This was a stodgy, ugly, terrible match. And if you like Premier League football, don't tune in to that one. Let's go to something a bit more exciting. Palace 2, Leicester 2. It still is weird to me seeing Jordan Ayew in a Leicester shirt.
Yeah, that threw me off when I saw that the other day. It's a bit weird.
It is, but especially against Palace.
That's what I'm saying too.
It was like
Even
really
weirder.
drove it home. Yeah, that's very, very strange. It was a good start to the game. They're nobody took their chances, but there were a couple of chances to take that everybody kind of fucked off. Bout Face almost gave away a penalty, which would have been enjoyable to me because I hate him and I hate his face. To be completely honest with you, what did you make of this match, man? I mean, Leicester obviously, Jamie Vardy, of course, is going to get the goal. He was talking shit to people in the crowd, which he's known to do. He did fail to do the eagle,
I
which
was
he
looking
has
for
done previously. I was looking for it once he scored. I didn't see it. But the Red Bull and vodka floweth. Uh, what do you think about the rest of the game?
kind of speaking a bit more about that Vardy goal, just the setup alone from him outpacing Mark Gay was something that I didn't expect, more so because of how prominent and how high profile people rate Mark Gay as well too. And then for Vardy, of course, to get around the keeper as well and get an easy sliding goal was pretty much a no-brainer from that. Like it was pretty much bound for it to be a goal there. Um, the second, it was really pretty much a tale of two halves for this match overall, where Leicester were pretty much dominating the entire first half, and then they, of course, got the first goal in the second half with Mavididi, and that was a pretty decent shot as well too from him. But even still,
Well, but it wasn't even about his shot, to be honest with you. I mean, Mavididi he finished well,
yeah,
but the real composure came from NDD. He was in he had the defender to his left. He had the goalkeeper in front of him. He was on the edge of the six, and
that's right. That's
he found that bit of composure to just side foot that ball back to Mavididi. Um, at this point, I'm pretty sure Leicester were singing "Do Diddy, Smart Diddy Do." You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it wasn't Diddy dumb, and Didi did what he was supposed to do there, smart wise. Instead, if you get it, I don't know if that song's way old, Hiram. I don't know if
I'll
you know
get it, but
that.
I like the puns though.
Mel, help me. Singing do a diddy diddy dum diddy do. I said diddy smart though, because then Didi did what he did.
Yeah.
Never
I
mind.
did something, so that's all I
It
know.
doesn't matter.
But
Connor Cody with the biggest old man challenge of his life in the 90th minute. If there's a time to retire, bro, you just proved it to yourself.
it was. I got nothing. I got nothing on that. That you should have just easily like one keep your foot down if you knew that you or not even know you saw someone coming, but if you see like there's some space between you and the ball, don't try to make it pretty much like a go open space for you to allow someone to still swoop in and get the ball, which I think who was it? Nketiah who drew the penalty.
And Ketia drew the penalty. Yes, he Connor Cody kind of touched the ball, turned. By the time he got himself set to play the ball again, and Ketia had already stolen in, touched the ball, and Connor Cody just straight in the middle of his shin.
Yeah.
No questions asked. I mean, it's an absolute nailed on pen, but he just looked so far behind the play, Connor Cody, that it's like, but bro, what are you doing here? That's one of those, when they say you should retire when you're at the top of your game. That right there is one of those signs where it's like, you might be past it, my son.
So you're saying he had Casemiro from 2 matches ago?
I mean, Casemiro from basically all of last season. All in all, I think it's a good point for both of them. Palace obviously found themselves 2-0 down, needed it, to bring it back, especially at home, so they can kind of count it as a point gained given the circumstances. Leicester, especially the way Palace finished the season last year, you would want at least a point from this game. They got it. I think both sides are happy here.
100%.
Fulham and West Ham. 1-1. Again, a bit boring.
Yeah.
This game wasn't terribly exciting either. ML Smith Rowe playing his part, obviously getting the goal to Raul Jimenez. Chasing a ball down that seemed like a lost cause, saving it from the end line, and finding Jimenez who scored for the first time in what seems like 6 years. To be completely fair, we haven't called his name very much at all over the last few seasons.
I was gonna say, it's been such a long time. I didn't realize he had cornrows now.
No, right? Yeah, weird. A lot's changed. I think Traore should have scored from a header in this game as well. Where is this what Fulham could expect to be this season? Just kind of the almost done it guys, but not bad at it.
They're for sure going to be the furniture of the table for sure. They're not going to be anywhere. I don't think they'll be anywhere near the relegation line, but they'll definitely be like fluttering between mid-table and like near like 15th or 14th though. But it's just it's Fulham. That's basically all I can say right there.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. West Ham, I'm not seeing anything particularly more impressive under Julian Lopetegui than I did under David Moyes. And maybe they just hated. I mean, Smokey can comment if he wants to. Maybe they just hated David Moyes so much. And yes, I am still calling his David from his time in Spain. But maybe they just hated him so much that it literally could have just been somebody else. But it just seems like it's another angry old man in charge of the team because they weren't exactly adventurous
Yeah.
either.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. Me personally, I would prefer Moyes football over whoever the fuck is their manager now. I could care less about who it is. I don't even want to try to guess their name, but uh, it's it's because like they're more contending when they're playing. They were more aggressive in their play, whereas now they're just very passive and just letting things just coast by and very conservative with the ball. Um, Again, and then even when you have like your players I'm not sure if Paqueta is still even playing even after this whole this betting bullshit or whatever, but
We'll
having
have to see. We'll have to see what they come down with. I don't know.
but with players like Paqueta, Kudos, and uh well, I was oh no, Bowen too. They would pretty much are like what makes the attacking counterattack football for West Ham exciting and entertaining because they pretty much are bringing that exciting force over to West Ham. Whereas like now it's just like okay, we're just gonna play uh small ball and just pretty much pass it to each other like we're Pep or something like that. Even though Pep
Right.
winning games, but at the same time, like it's still not translating to anything where they're just getting at least a point in this manner.
Yeah. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Bird Leno also should have saved the goal.
Yeah.
He got a full palm to it and pushed it into his own corner. So this should have been a 1-0 loss for West Ham. I just don't see where it's gotten better, to be completely fair. All right, let's get on to your boys. Bournemouth nil, Chelsea won. Most cards in a game for a fair few years. Your 14, I think, was the total amount of cards in this game.
Yep.
Obviously, Jaden Sancho came back to football. Didn't look like he's missed a beat. Robert Sanchez saved a penalty. It was a very weird game, but Bournemouth was on top for most of it from the highlights I saw of this game. I don't know if watching the full 90 was a bit different of a story, but Bournemouth seemed to have at least the better of the chances.
That's what you would think, but it was also like similar to how we said about the Leicester and Palace match. It was basically a tale of two halves where as soon as we made the subs in the second half, like the the way that the match was playing was completely different. When you brought in Sancho over Nato, when you brought in Nkunku over Jackson, and then taking out Madueke and keeping Palmer all to the right when you have Zhao in the middle, like that if I was Maresca, that would be my starting 11 or starting forwards at least. I know you want to keep Madueke in the starting lineup because he's been in good form, and I still would after this match, even still like he didn't do as much compared to his previous matches. But overall, I think with Sancho coming in, and of course, this is his first match in the Chelsea shirt, and he's making his rounds following his disaster of a spell with Manchester. I think he's pretty much carrying on to what he's done at Dortmund, which even I heard people talking about that where they're saying like, oh well, now that he's away from Ten Hag, he's definitely going to be playing better. Yes, because he has that freedom, he has that excitement to actually play. Whereas like with
Right.
Ten Hag, it was more so like stick to the game plan, do only that, don't do anything. Where you saw Jaden was literally he was the main distributor on the pitch the entire time, and the focus was more on him than it was on Cole Palmer, who's pretty much been carrying the team all of last season, and then hasn't been doing much of the grunt work this year so far. But then you also have those different pieces where you have a João Felix, you have a Christopher Nkunku, you now have a Jadon Sancho, a Neto, Madueke doing all their parts to kind of lead that forward push as well too. But as far as this overall, I think me personally, I would put Robert Sanchez as man of the match, even though Jadon Sancho got it for his performance, even though his performance was very altering throughout the entire thing. Sanchez probably had his best performance in a Chelsea shirt, in my opinion, simply because like he one saved the penalty, which was probably like one of the weakest penalties we've seen thus far. Uh, Pretty much was on the ball at every chance he could get. Didn't make any minor or I should say, didn't make any major mistakes. He probably made a couple minor mistakes. And then he was pretty much like picking up the slack for Fofana, who wasn't performing as well. Even Disasi, who is a center back playing right back, wasn't doing his job as well too. I think Sanchez definitely is trying to prove the doubters, even myself, wrong of like he deserves to be here even after his abysmal first year with us last season. It just had to build off from that pretty much.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think he's a good goalkeeper, personally. Um, I think he deserves a start. I don't think there really deserves to be a conversation, even with him and Petrovic. Uh, I think Sanchez is the better goalkeeper. I just think he needs to get his mind right and stay focused, and he'll be okay.
And then even aside from that too, like I think Colwell is definitely for me making a good run for being the next captain for the team, like a proper captain, because Reece James and we Chelsea fans, we all love him and everything, but Reece to me isn't fit for a captain, even though he is, yeah, academy player and he's built from the ground up from at Cobham, but still
Is
he
it he's not fit to be a captain, or he's just not fit? What
both.
did you say? Sorry.
No, that's another thing too. He's made of glass, and I definitely do enjoy having Reece on the pitch, but every time he at least gets a touch, he gets physical, it's he's back on the bench again.
Do you remember the movie? It was probably the early 2000s, so you
Mhm.
might not have been born yet. I'm not sure. It was, I think Bruce Willis was the one lead, and the other was Samuel L. Jackson. But Samuel L. Jackson was in a wheelchair, and the movie was called Unbreakable.
Oh, yep.
But he was the guy with the glass bones. Samuel L. Jackson was, and Bruce Willis couldn't get hurt. Apparently, I just feel like Reece James is Samuel L. Jackson from that movie, and every time anyone sneezes near him, he's out for 6 months,
Yeah.
which
And
makes him not fit to be a captain, in my opinion. You have to play, you have to be there. You can only be an emotional leader for so long. I'm gonna need you to do something. I'm gonna need you to show me something as a follower of yours, and it doesn't seem to happen. But Chelsea looked like Enzo Maresca specifically looks like he's starting to figure things out and starting to get things right. Um, and he did it by guess what? Trimming the fucking squad down. I'm not playing these cunts. I'm working with these 22 cunts, and that's all I'm doing. Period. Point blank. End of story. But we'll have you three here for reserve just in case. But these 22 are who I'm focusing on, and that seems to big surprise have worked when you have too many people involved. And Pochettino, for instance, starts talking about lemons providing some sort of magical presence. The whole thing was very strange, and it
yep.
didn't surprise me why it was going wrong. Anyway, we move on to Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Very slow start to the game as a whole. Just one shot on target in the opening 36 minutes. But EU Big Sam Division #1 pick, Strand Larson grabbing an assist for the Mario Lemina goal. Fantastic counterattack. And a great goal that Wolves can hang their hat on, except for they fucked it the rest of the game.
Yep. I was more disappointed in Newcastle's kits than I was than Wolves. What the fuck are these
It's
spread?
ugly. I didn't like it either. It's not good. I was not pleased.
But no,
You're,
Wolves definitely just fumbled the win overall from that match itself. Lamina was definitely man of the match from at least for the first half. Second half, it was definitely more so like just coasting by, trying to maintain the draw, or at least trying to get the tip for the second goal. But Newcastle was pretty much just pounding onto them as soon as the second whistle started. So it was just, I don't know. Again, another tale of two halves, but Wolves definitely let themselves go in this match for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the goal. It was a fantastic dummy by Gomez. João Gomes, fantastic little step over that unseated Fabian Schär, who was just behind him. And then who was it that finished? Lamina, like I said. But the second half started better for Newcastle. Wolves dealt with it very well. I mean, Craig Dawson's face dealt with it well. That was what a challenge that was. What a schnoz he put on that ball. But other than that, I mean, the second half wasn't really exciting or interesting. Fabian Schär had a slight deflection from distance, scored. But then Harvey Barnes did a Hudson-Odoi, and that's all you can really ask for, to be completely honest. And job done. I mean, nothing really happened other than that. I mean, Wolves had a great chance late on, but Pope was equal to it. Other than that, there just wasn't enough from Wolves, in my opinion, if that makes sense. There just wasn't enough, going for, especially at home. You expect them to really push for a win or really go for it. They just didn't.
They came. I would say they did try to come close in the dying seconds of the match, but it just wasn't enough, though. Like
Nah,
it
I would
was.
have expected more from them.
Yeah,
I really would have.
there was something that was at least a match I thought they were at least draw, because I thought Newcastle lately haven't been as strong in the matches, even though of course they have gotten the 3 wins, but it's still like they're just coasting by those wins. They're not like, it's not strong dominant performances though.
Yeah, they're not looking particularly impressive, from my opinion either. I'm with you there. I think there's a lot more to unpick about Newcastle here coming up, but a 2-1 win away from homes to a decent opponent, organized opponent. I mean, you can't really fault them for that, I guess. At this stage, but you're absolutely right. I've not been convinced by Newcastle either, especially going forward.
Agreed.
Sure money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the segment of the show where we bet, give you our bets, our personal bets, to make sure that you know what you're doing in your bets. And if you can't figure out the sarcasm, and that is your fault. That sentence was also your disclaimer. I lost again, and I'm down 300. Lols. So, Mel, Sam's obviously not here because, he's there, but he's not here. You know what I mean?
Well, the last message I got from Sam, NyQuil has kicked in. I'm fading. Love you. ...
Nice.
I'm assuming there wasn't anything after that. It was just done and statement. And Hiram, I don't know if you noticed this one comment from the chats from Taylor, but he says that you're too hot to be asked about stuff before you were born.
Oh no, I was born before Unbreakable for sure, but the statement still stays true. I do not give a fuck about anything that happened before me.
All right.
Fair enough. All right. So what happened to Houston? Did you win or lose?
I lost and now sit at plus 18.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Hiram,
18
did you know that 33.33333% of the time it works 100% of the time?
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I disturbed Big B on that one. It's okay, sweetheart. Taking a 3-leg parlay, Villa over Wolves, Liverpool over the Cherries, and Newcastle to beat Fulham at 368. You read my bet, please? Oh, sorry. Just kidding. And there you go. That's Big Sam.
Hiram, since you're here, do you have anything or no? It's okay if you don't. I was just wondering. We didn't get to talk pre-show about it.
No, I did not. I have not made any bets for this match at all or any of the matches. But if you do, please make sure you do gamble responsibly.
Well done. All right, so I'm going to give you what I did, and I did not do it responsibly. I've got Chelsea over West Ham, Liverpool over Bournemouth, Newcastle over Fulham, Villa over Wolves. Then we're going to also parlay those games with Leicester versus Everton over 1.5 goals. No goal scorers. Just there's going to be 2 goals or more in the game, and then City versus Arsenal 2.5 goals. So 2 goals or less in that game. That wins me a resounding 2,090 cold hard American doll hairs. And I'll be well into the lead since Sam's only up 18 motherfucking dollars. Okay. That is going to wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another DU football show on this fantastic weekend of footy. Actually, wasn't that spectacular, to be honest with you. There's a few games gave us fuck all, to be completely honest. But we did our best to bring you the funnies from this weekend. Hiram, do you have any parting words, my friend?
Yes, I do. Make sure you do check out any of the DU football podcast shows from the past, but also check them out on Patreon as well too, so you can go ahead and help them grow more into make this a bigger show than it ever will be. Other than that, as well, I've always mentioned that I do have a podcast myself. That show is called It Really Be Like That. It'll be out when I say it be out. I said it will be out in July. It is September, and I am still yet to record it. So just stay tuned. That's all I can say.
Listen, motherfucker, it'd really be like that.
Let me like that.
Thank you all for joining us once again at DU Football Show on all the social medias. DU Football Show at gmail.com, patreon.com/DU Football Show. Sign up, DUDripShack.com. Get yourself some motherfucking merch and support the show. Always get in touch with us. We love reading your comments. We love hearing your emails. We love doing everything that Mel takes care of on the ones and twos. Thank you, Mel, for doing all you do, as always. And we will see you motherfuckers next week.
We are still live, though. And
Yeah,
we end this stream, and we're going to record the Zoom and post that later. So
it is 40 minutes on the first 2 games.
I don't think, it's fine.
I'm trying to look at the clock. I'm trying to look at the notes. I'm trying to go. I was like, oh, shit.
Not so easy, is it? And I'm just like, is Graham going to ask for help? Nah, I'm going to wait for Graham to ask for help. Graham's not going to ask for help. All right, we're just going to keep
ask for help, Mel.
I probably texted Sam and I went, what's the match order?
We got it. No, I did everything in the match order.
Nobody shared it with me.
I did everything in the match order.
No, but I didn't get it shared.
Oh, yeah.
Put in the chat, right?
Yeah, not in y'all's chat. Y'all had it in your separate chat, not the one with me.
It was great. I'm gonna go to the bathroom before we start the next show.
Bye,
what's the next? What's the next show we're doing?
EPL. Bye.
Great.
Say bye.
See you in a second.
Say bye.